After sneaking past the sleeping fox, we step out the door and onto the bustling street. Antnor locks up behind us. It takes him a second, which gives me time to make a quick scan of our surroundings. I wish I hadn't. Just about every set of eyes is glued on me, and they don't dart away until we make eye contact. Even then, I can feel them lock back on the moment I look away. It's what we expected, but that makes it no less unnerving. I can only hope that they'll lose interest sooner or later. We'll be making our way further into the village, down the street. He points in the opposite direction we went the other day, away from the village exit. It will get more crowded as we go, so stay close to me. He keeps a steady pace right by my side, his stride slow but casual. There are already so many eyes on me, and there are only gonna be more. The menagerie of different animal faces is also extremely distracting my brain trying to figure out what species everyone is. But Agnor is beside me. His imposing stature inspires a bit more confidence in my stride. At least until a breeze blows right back up my back, sending a chill from the end of my spine. The hole for the tail leaves that spot exposed. It feels like I'm having a big hole that sews my rear end. I almost put my shirt out of my pants to cover it, but I'm not confident how I'll look doing it. I grow more and more self-conscious by every step, and the streets continue to grow more and more crowded. I try to pull my pants up as far as they'll go, but no luck. No matter how high up I get them, it still feels like my butt crack is just out there for anyone to see. Out of desperation, I awkwardly use my hand to cover the hole. The wolf notices as I start to fall back. It brings us to a stop. "Are you alright?" Yeah, I'm good." "Are you sure about that? You keep visiting, and you're holding your back like you strained it." I just feel a little exposed with the opening behind me. "You mean your tail hole? Is it too big for you?" "No, not at all. It's pretty snug, actually. It's just I'm not used to feeling air there. It's weird to me. The fur around the backside can be very sensitive, which is probably why you're feeling that way." "I'm afraid there's no way for me to help you with it. The hole is for your tail, so you can only try to get used to it. You shouldn't worry about what others may think. How you look is perfectly normal. Nobody gives it a second thought. Remember, they're staring because you're new. We get all sorts of travelers, so their curiosity will wane before too long." "I hope so. Let's keep moving. Focus on the path and try not to think about it." But I do think about it, and the more I do, the more I realize it really is just a me thing. No one else is getting their tusks ogled through their tail hole. And with my nose settling, I can see the only looks directed my way or of innocent curiosity. My posture relaxes and I let my hands fall to my sides as I catch up the big wolf. The street soon opens up to a large square that's been jam-packed with stalls, becoming a dense labyrinth that obscures the surrounding buildings. This unexpected bazaar is literally packed shoulder to shoulder with dye. I don't know how anyone is meant to navigate it, let alone someone the size of Agnar. It's really crowded here. The Jack Market is quite something, isn't it? This plaza is usually empty, but during big festivals it gets packed with all sorts of novelty stalls. The hut is the village's biggest draw for foreign merchants, so both locals and travelers all flock here to see what's in store. I can certainly see that. There's a buzz of enthusiasm in the air. Some stalls are so popular I can't even see what's being sold. As we continue our trek and peruse the various wares, there all there are all manners of goods, many of which I don't recognize. Those that I do, however, are more the sorts of things you find in an antique shop. The stalls selling spices and teas are the most crowded. One is particularly drowning in customers. I can barely see past the crowd, but I can see something that looks like exotic spices contained in jars. Hang on. If they're selling exotic products here, then maybe... Do any of these stalls sell coffee? Coffee. Yeah, coffee. Or maybe chocolate? I've never heard of them, so probably not. Maybe we're just using different words for them. They're both brown. Chocolate, they are both brown. Coffee is roasted beans made into a drink, and chocolate is a sweet and bitter treat that melts into your mouth. My apologies, but I have never seen nor heard of such things. The lack of flushable toilets was one thing, but no caffeine, no crisp, roasted aroma to greet you in the morning. What a cruel world. I think maybe chocolate and coffee come from like the tropical parts of the world, so I guess this world is based on the northern hemisphere, and that trade hasn't really gone like to the far south, like to the equator areas yet. I think so far it's mainly been, this is the culture that made trades with other cultures in the northern hemisphere, and haven't really gotten to cultures in the equator for there to be coffee or chocolate yet. So those, because the equator and southern hemisphere, or places along the equator or near it, that's where these tropical areas, that's where all the coffee and chocolate really comes from. Like Central Africa and Amazon and in Southeast Asia and places like that. It's slow going as we make our way through the crowd, giving me plenty of time to scope out the goods. Some of the stalls seem to be selling local goods to outsiders, one of which is packed with countless jars of honey, all different shades of gold and brown. Some of them even have honeycomb inside. And there's a snake. Snake? I don't know why I'm so caught off guard. I've seen plenty of different kinds of dye so far. I guess a snake with arms was just a bridge too far. And not just any snake, but not just any snake, but a cobra. Its head is framed by a large hood that melts together into its neck. I struggle to rein in my flight or fight impulse. Yes, it's a person. I have no doubt they're as harmless as the rest of the crowd, but they don't have any legs. Just an extra long, thick tail coiled up behind their stall. See, they are basking in the sun, enjoying a private, tranquil moment. I remember learning that reptiles are drawn to warmth, something about them being cold-blooded, so they need to seek the sun and other warm things to remain active. Their attire definitely doesn't strike me as local either. They're wearing golden bracers, necklaces, and something in their hood that resembles ear cuffs. Their outfit makes them stand out as both wealthy and very forward. I can't help but feel like I fit in better than this guy. How come nobody's gawking at them? Talk about a double standard. I'm pulled from my spiteful thoughts as I realize they're staring at me, tongue flicking back at me with a keen interest. Welcome, my good master. Come close, come closer. His voice is masculine, yet coy. His tongue flicks in the air again, and I take a half step back. Some part of me expected him to bite sooner than speak. Fear not, Zosar. Only wants to give the dear customer what a desire. Adjusting his posture with a long, mesmerizing undulation of his tail, he gestures broadly at his wares. I hadn't even noticed what he was selling on account of there being a cobra man. Behold, the finest silks from my homeland, Labum, a luxury beyond compare, as I'm sure your discerning eyes can tell you. And transfixed, eyes like saucers until I notice there's no coffee in sight, and then I lose all interest. The fabric looks nice and all, but it's not exactly something I need. The cobra picks out a particularly shiny bolt from his arsenal, unrolling a meter for me to examine. Now this would look most splendid on you, don't you agree? I can't even answer his question. I'm too distracted by all the hissing. Does he actually have to do it on every S? I thought that was just in cartoons. Who knew they were spot on with that stereotype? Yes, on the best for you. This will fasten the most fantastic garment. How much will you be needing? I'm not sure. What will I even make with it? Another shirt, but it does look really soft, and it's silk. I never had silk before. Almost of its own volition, my hand gravitates towards the luxurious looking fabric. The cobra's tongue flicks in anticipation. Only 90 core, paw. How much is a core? That's gotta be like pennies, right? We can afford that. But just before my hand connects, a large weight claps down onto my shoulder, and I nearly jump out of my skin. The shock pulls me out of my trance, and I reel my hand back as though the fabric were a real serpent. I look up to see whose hand is on me, and it's Adnor's. We're not buying. The cobra's eyes shift to the wolf, and he puts away the silk, a menacing mask, frustration, and feigned meekness painted on his face. He bows low, his head sinking farther down than most people could manage. My stall is open any day you wish to sign. Agnor leads me away, and it's like the world has come back into focus. I glance back at the merchant's stall, but he doesn't look upset. He's already returned to bathing in the sun. Wow, he was certainly different. I know you must be curious, but please stay close to me today. These merchants can be all too persuasive if you give them your time. I wasn't going to buy it. I don't even know what to do with silk. But you were still tempted. I saw how he was working you over, luring you to their whim. It's a common tactic for their kind. Their kind? You should be careful with all these stalls. They know how to work people into buying much more than they need. Finally, clear of the square, we take a left down a short path onto an open street. Here we are, the Golden Hills Inn. I've seen plenty of taverns like this in games, so I think I know what to expect. It's funny, they always had names like the Dancing Badger. I guess in a world filled with beast folk, names like that don't carry the same charm. Alright, let's head inside. I follow the wolf into the building. It's just like how I envisioned it to be. The floor is made of cobblestone, as are the walls of the first floor. The second floor is entirely made of wood. It has a mezzanine overlooking the activity below. The archways are intricately detailed, symbols twist and weave around in patterns that are at once alien and vaguely familiar to me, I can't imagine how long it must have taken to carve them all. Looking over the counter, I can see the bar is well stocked with small barrels, bottles, flagons, and other spirits. Beside it is a massive door leading into what must be the kitchen. The aromas coming out of it are almost enough to lift me off my feet. I can clearly smell the decadent flavors of melted butter and salt grilled meat. My mouth is already watering. I swallow to keep myself from actually drooling. Most of the tables are empty enough. Must have beat the lunch rush or missed it. Either way, everyone's at the market shopping, so we practically have the place to ourselves. Big Wolf. A brown blur darts out from behind the counter before seizing Aunt Nora's leg in a tight embrace. His arms and legs are wrapped around Aunt Nora's tight enough to hold himself aloft. He's smiling ear to ear, giggling as he buries his face into the wolf's fur. But then he finally notices me, and his eyes go wide in surprise. He promptly releases Aunt Nora and begins hopping from foot to foot in sheer excitement. Oh, I know you. You're the weird-looking lion with the funny clothes. Oh. The cub wilts a little at a chide, but immediately forgets his manners again, pointing crudely at me and bouncing in place. But he's the one my friends told me about. He's that weird drunk lion. He's not a drunk hole. He's recovering from a severe illness and is having trouble walking. Be nice and don't judge him by what others say. O puts his taunting finger down, but he continues to stare in silence before seizing Aunt Nora's leg again. Is he growling? Oof. Oh, no. Oh, the dreaded has me in his clutches. Aunt Nora drops down to one knee, acting like he's been gravely wounded. There's only one way I can save myself. Take this fiend. He lunges at the little bear cub, tickling his sides up and down. Ole squeals in laughter, relinquishing Aunt Nora's leg and scrambles in a futile effort to seal his most ticklish spots. I have found his weakness. Aunt Nora gets his paws under Ole's arms and helps him up high, the little guy's reveling in his theatrics, the biggest grin on his face. No, ho. You win. I think he might be getting overstimulated, but the wolf continues with a smirk and a sing-song voice. I don't know. I think this little brisket could use a chomp. No. The cub wiggles wildly, but it's no use. His fate is sealed. He's in the clutches of the mighty wolf. His belly is forfeit. Aunt Nora's maw is spread wide, threatening to blow the cub's little tummy or take a bite out of him like a burger. But before the fateful blow is struck, our eyes meet and he freezes. Despite the utterly charmed smile plastered on my face, he ceases immediately, though the wolf himself is wearing his own big, dopey grin. Alright, you young fiend, I'll spare you for now, but no more of your shenanigans. Okay. Aunt Nora pulls Ole down, who darts back behind the counter and to the next room, squealing the moment he's released. So, Big Wolf, eh? Yeah, he's always calls me that, but I like it. That's Ole. He's Brum's cub. Brum? The owner of the inn, and also the head chef in the kitchen. He does most of the cooking and is actually the one who prepared everything I brought you to eat, aside from the bread. Really? Didn't know an inn like this would serve takeout. The ones I know usually make you dine in. Lucky for you, I'm the exception. Ever since I told him about you, he's been more than happy to lend a paw. That's so nice of him. I should really thank him when I get the opportunity. What he's like, Brum? Well, he's got a big personality and a frame to house it. Ha! I wonder what he means by that, because he's a bear. The little bear cub pokes his head over the counter, having climbed up a stool to stand on. Big Wolf, Dad wants to know if you're dining in or taking it with you again. Well, it's up to Arwen. Will you like to stay a while? He leans in and lowers his voice. We don't have to, but I promise everything tastes much better right out the kitchen. Tough call. Go back to the house and cultivate my cabin fever some more. Or enjoy a hot meal in a cozy inn and get to make a friend and this Brum fellow. You know what? I think I'll stay just for a bit. Hey, Ole, I'd love to eat here, see what your dad can make. Yes. Would you like to show us to our table? I know you've been practicing how to greet a noble. The little one's face lights up. He scampers down and around the counter before coming to a rigid stop before us. Right this way, my lord. He bows in comedic fashion, sweeping his arm low and wide with a gallant flourish. He then leads us to one of the available tables, chin raised snootily in the air and walking on his tippy toes. Please have a seat. He's speaking with an intentionally poor, pompous accent. It's hard not to chuckle. I hope he doesn't speak to actual nobles this way. I don't think they appreciate it. We take our seats with a gracious air, following the cub's lead to this little skit. The chairs are a tad bigger than the ones back at the house. My feet barely touch the ground, while Akandar only has to bend his knees slightly. The best seats in the house. Thank you, Master Ole. It was too kind. Now that we're seated, could you introduce yourself to our newest guest? The little bear beams, dropping the at and extending a hand to me. I'm Ole. Nice to meet you. I take his hand and give a gentle shake. Nice to meet you too. I'm Aaron. You must take on a lot of responsibility around here, big guy. How old are you? I'm 6. 4, 5, I'm 7 years old. He puffs out his chest with pride. You had a birthday last month, right? Yeah, Dad got me the biggest honey cake too. Do you like honey, Mr. Lion? His name is Aaron. Do you like honey, Aaron? This kid's adorable. He acts pretty much the same as any other human kid his age. I sure do. It's super sweet. I like to have it with my breakfast. Ole, do you think you could check on your dad in the kitchen? You know how much he appreciates your help. The cub sees right through Agnar's gambit and makes his displeasure known. But Agnar, you promised you'd play with me today. He's hunching his shoulders and pursing his lips. A look of more pained betrayal could not be mustered. I know, I'm sorry, but I'm appointed this nice lion's guard. You know I don't shirk from my responsibilities. Can you forgive me? But you're always busy. It's been so long since we last played. The little bear cub stares at the ground, paws pulling at the hem of his shirt, looking sincerely dejected. His eyes start welling up with tears, and his round ears droop pitifully. His lips pucker out, and he looks up at me with the biggest eyes. Oh God, my heart. Sad, cute animals are my greatest weakness. He shuffles his feet, a big tear rolling down his cheek. I thought I had tougher skin after all those animal cruelty ads. I know he's just playing me, but there's a limit to how much sad cuteness I can take. But I also need Agnar. It's my first time out and about, and I really don't know what to do if something happens. The eyes, no more. I can't say no to a face like that. I'm not a monster. You win this round, you little crocodile. You can go play with him, Agnar. I'll be fine. Agnar gives me a concerned look. He can see the struggle in my face. He knows. No, Owen, I can't just leave you alone in an unfamiliar place just so I can go play. What sorcery allows you such immunity to this crystallization of misery, and in the form of a teddy bear? I grit my teeth, now spellbound to aid the cub in his quest. Come on, it's the middle of the day, and everyone saw me come in with you. Who's gonna mess with me, right? I'll be fine. Before he can retort, I continue. Besides, you did promise him. Yeah, you and Dad always tell me it's important to keep your promises. You wouldn't want to set a bad example, would you? And at last, the emotional blackmail piles too high. The wolf breaks. Alright, we can play, but only for a little bit. Yay! The cub scampers over to a more open part of the inn. Agnar pushes himself up, leaning forward and whispering to me as he does. I won't be far. If anything happens, just call out for me. Got it? Alright, I will. Good. I'll have Rum bring you a drink to start with. Well, I better make a good first impression. How's he like? Brum's larger than life. His size might be intimidating, but I promise you that he's a good man. He'll like you. You have to actually try to get him to dislike you. The powerful pair made their way behind the counter and into the kitchen. I could hear them talking, but can't make out what they're saying. I lean back in my chair and just take in my surroundings. This is nice. The casual atmosphere, the quiet chatter of the sparse clientele. It's like a quaint medieval spin of any family establishment you find back home. The tables are pretty close together though, so I imagine it's a very different vibe when the place is packed in the evening. My eyes drift from table to table watching three patrons eat and chat in a jovial manner. I catch one of them staring at me before quickly averting their gaze. I stop people watching after that and just stare down my hands, resting on the table, twiddling my thumbs. I've never been a subject of public interest before. It's awkward, but at least they don't seem aggressive or scared. Just curious. My attention snaps back to reality when a proverbial mountain of fur comes to me. At first I mistake him for one of the patrons, but as he gets closer I can see the bears coming from the kitchen and making a beeline for me. That's Rum. He's massive. He walks up to me, a big, almost expectant grin on his face. I have to crane my neck back just to see his big nose. You must be the Lord, Erwin Sander, that Agnar told me about. It's a real pleasure to meet you. I gawp at him silently, forgetting how to speak. Agnar said he would be big, but I'm just a pebble compared to him. His arms are definitely thicker than Agnar's, and his legs are actually the size of tree trunks. I probably have legs like that too, if I was hefting around a gut like that. What do these guys eat to get this enormous? He set a tankard before me on the wooden table. It's so small compared to the bear that I didn't even notice him carrying it. I swallowed nervously, finding my voice again. You rum? My lips won't stop quivering. I'm trying my hardest to not take off running from my seat. The one and only, and I welcome you to the Golden Hills Inn. Wanted to give you a proper Dorset welcome. Hope you're enjoying our town so far, my lord. Dorset, I wonder if that's the name of the village. But why Lord? But does he think I'm one? Agenor told me you're a traveling noble. Been hearing word around town too, but you're not at all what I expected. We don't get many high society folk through the door, though Agenor has brought that Vince Scogan fella here a few times. I've heard you've got some real colorful clothes too. I wish I could have seen them. Heard all sorts of fanciful things about them. Colorful, right? That's the polite way to put it, I guess. Yeah, this place is pretty different from home, so I needed something more local and less eye-catching. I was saying, maybe I get to see him someday. I'm just so glad I finally get to meet you in person. Want to give my lord a proper welcome to our humble village. He said that already, but he's so friendly that I don't even mind. At the same time, I'm resisting the urge to cringe. He really thinks I'm a noble, huh? I'm going to have a talk with Agenor about this. I didn't realize my new identity came with status. I don't have a clue how I'm supposed to present myself. I overheard you meeting my son. Real hard, that one, eh? Hope he's not been too much trouble for you. I like you to meet Gertrude as well, but she don't wait tables till the evening. Spilled the gal, and a total heart stopper. She surprised beauty of Dorset. Why have the men come here just to get a look at her? Helps the flow of coins, you know. Maybe you've already heard of her. Wouldn't be the first time someone made their way here just to meet her. No, it's my first time hearing about her. She must be something pretty special, huh? Oh, trust me, she's the most beautiful woman you ever see this side of Nortenden. One look and you'll be left speechless. I can't help but feel like he's playing her up a bit too much, but seeing as he's her employer, I guess that's expected. I'm actually kind of curious to see what she looks like now. But if you're not here for her then, of course, you must be here for the big hunt. Not really, no. I was just in the area, but I have heard of it. You know, probably could have lied there. It is a more likely draw. It would excuse my presence, but then again, I don't know anything about it but the name. Traveling the world, eh? That brings back memories. But I hope your stay is good before you move along. Dorset is a good place to rest for a spell. Speaking of, I heard our wolf is your new guard. How's he holding up to your standards? No, he's great. Actually, no, he's wonderful. He's the one who found me in the woods and was looking after me while I was recovering. He's done a lot for me since I got here and has been treating me so well. I really like Agenor. I don't know what would have happened without him. Yeah, that's our wolf. But you must have been real sick, given that you were hobbling around the village the other day, or so I heard. See, is that how bad the rumors have gotten? I better change the perception of me before everyone sticks me with the weirdo lion label. No, I wasn't that bad. My fever's thrown off. My balance has been rough getting my footing back. Rumors tend to exaggerate. I'm glad to hear you're doing better. Without skipping a beat, the surprisingly curious bear just resumes his line of inquiry. And now you're staying at that little lodge Agenor's been watching over lately. Lord Mikhail offered to let me stay there while I'm in town. I can't say for how long, but I'll be here for a while. So you'll be a long-term guest, huh? Great. I hope you enjoy your time here then. Now, what's your pleasure? What's your pleasure? My menu is not built for the refined taste of a noble, but my kitchen's open to whatever you fancy. I'm not too picky, really. I'll eat anything as long as it's good. Yeah, you got it. I'll break out my best. The bear turns to go, but turns back to me before walking off. Just one thing, my lord. Yeah? Sweet Aunt Norwell, alright. Sure I will. Good to hear. With that, the big bear disappears to the kitchen. I breathed a sigh of relief. I knew he would be a big bear, but not that big. They went over pretty well, I think. For a moment there, I thought he was gonna eat me or something. Aunt Noah's right. He's friendly, even though he's friendly enough, but his sheer size alone makes him intimidating. He was really friendly, but I can already tell that I did not want to get on that bear's bad side. He looked like he could throw me into the orbit. My gaze returned to my table, waiting for my food to arrive when I noticed a drink. Oh, why, he's already brought me something. Come to think of it, I'm rather thirsty. I hold the tankard up to my nose and give it a sniff. It smells of apple juice and a hint of some kind of spice. I can't smell any alcohol. Without even thinking, my tongue dips right into the liquid, lapping at it. I almost slammed the tankard down onto the table in surprise. What was that? I mean, I am an animal now, sort of, but I wasn't expecting it to do something like this. The tail was one thing. I haven't had a tail before, but this is totally different. I guess it could be worse. I just hope this doesn't keep happening. Pressing the tankard to my lips, I drank it properly. It's a fuller apple flavor than I'm used to with juice, but it's less sweet and a little bitter. I like it, though. The cinnamon is a nice touch. Like any restaurant, my food isn't brought out right away, leaving me nothing to do but sip at my drink. Aunt Noah's taking a while, and I nervously rub my claws against the now empty tankard. I shouldn't be impatient. It's only been a few minutes. Brum walks around and brings a few meals out for the other guests, as well as refilling some drinks. I wonder if we're all drinking the same thing or if they're having something stronger. The occasional squeal of laughter emerges from the kitchen, and each time it's a welcome relief from my boredom. Ole and Aunt Nora sound like they're having a blast in there. Just when I'm about to peek into the kitchen and see what the holdup is, Agador and Brum exit together and head to our table. The bear expertly carries 2 trays each with sizzling, steaming food. 1 herb and butter hanser with mashed puppet, and 1 sausage plate for our dependable wolf. What's set before me is a platter with 4 cuts of white meat, which resemble oversized chicken breasts, swimming in a butter and herb sauce. On the side is a generous mass of what smells like garlic and potato. Aunt Nora sets 2 tankards on the table, one clearly meant to refresh my drink. The wolf's is much larger, topped with white foam and smelling like a heady beer. So, Lord Aaron, will you hear the request of this humble chef and tell me what you think of the food? He gestures at the plate, and I stare in bewilderment. Anything made with this much butter can't be anything less than fantastic. So it looks almost too good to eat. Well, that's a good one. But there ain't much point in making food you don't eat, is there? The best part of food is the taste. So please dig in, and there's plenty more in the kitchen if you want it. I cut into the meat with a fork and knife like Nandy taught me, and gracefully scoop up some mass as well. I blow a couple times before placing the morsel in my mouth. Now that it was burning hot, not that it was burning hot, but if I'm supposed to be selling this noble roll I was given, I might as well get my table manners right. Oh, oh, wow. Man, the meat is so juicy, it's tender, and not the tiniest bit of rubbery either. The sauce is so creamy and light that it all blends. So, what you say? So, what would you say? This is good enough for a noble? Noble? I said this is fit for a king. Ha! I knew it. I knew it. Yes. The bear slaps his knee in triumph. He's beaming with unbridled joy and regards me with pure gratitude. You heard him say it, Agnar. That badger is gonna pay up. What badger? I look around confused, but did I miss something? He's a regular here. Probably had another bet with rum. Oh, you're damn right he did. I'm confused. What role do I have to play in this? He bet his entire tab that if I couldn't get a noble to visit and say the food was great, he wouldn't have to pay it. That's awful. Does he think he's too good to pay? Or for this, no less? Oh, he's gonna pay me now. And he's gonna be on disc duty for a week. It's just in time for the Jackmart hunt too. Oh, this couldn't get any sweeter. We're all proud of you, Rum. He scratches the back of his head with a goofy, confident grin. Since you helped me win your meal and drink today's on me free of charge. Oh no, I couldn't. The food is so good. I insist. Consider it my token of appreciation for dragging you into my little bed. So I won't be taking no for an answer. I settle back into my chair and accept this spot of good fortune. I didn't even do anything, just enjoy the food and gave my honest opinion. I gotta get back to cooking, but you holler if you need anything. He watched the bear retreat back to the kitchen. Agnar then rolls his eyes and tilts his head in a playful manner, shifting his attention to me. That no one smirk. You knew what he was doing all along, didn't you? I had a hunch he was up to something. He probably wanted to get to know you better in his own way. And don't feel bad that Badger had it coming. He hasn't paid Brummer a single quarter in weeks. I knew Brum would warm right up to you. You're doing great so far. Now go ahead and eat up. Brum's food is good to the last bite. I grab my fork and take another satisfying bite from the plate. The juicy meat washes over my tongue, and I try my hardest to savor every rich, buttery note before swallowing. It's so good. That's what I've been telling you. Brum's the best cook in all the land. Or the world. Can't remember the last time I had a meal this good. Which reminds me, Brum said something about enjoying Dawson. Is that what the village is called? Now it's Agnar's turn to rust. He's chewing and chugging so he can reply. Ah, yes, this is Dawson. A fine place to settle down, don't you think? It is so far, yeah. It's so different compared to where I'm from. It's a lot more rustic. Rustic? It means it has a lot of character. You know, quaint. Ah, that's good to hear. We both resume our mutual feasting. It's a bit daunting as there's both so much food and yet I can hardly stop myself from scarfing it down. I look up at the wolf between bites and a curiosity strikes me. I realize just how little I can gauge things based on appearance. If Ole hadn't told me his age, I would have guessed he was anywhere between 4 and 10, and I couldn't make any sense of the snake's gender or age. How old are you, Agnar? I'm 28 years old, born in the cold month of Coden. Your document says you're 25. I assume that's accurate. Yeah, that's really how old I am. Mikhail said we should add some truth to the registration to make it easier to remember. Okay, so in the previous version, he was 31 at Nora, but they lowered it to 28. Yeah, that's really how old I am. Mikhail said we should add some truth to the registration to make it easier to remember our wise decision. So, do you think our years work the same though? I mean, ours could. The wolf cuts me off with a quiet sus, glancing discreetly around the tavern at the other patrons. A good question, but not a conversation we should be having in a public space like this. I fizz a bit, feeling a little red in the face so quickly, forgetting how important secrecy is. The wolf seems to pick up on it and speaks up again, casual and cool. So back home in Salenhof, when do they consider you to come of age? You know, when you're really an adult. Oh, I get it. We can use Salenhof to talk about my world. 18. That's around how old I was when I stopped growing. Well, at least height-wise. I pat my well-defined stomach for emphasis. How is it here in Dorset, and how old do most people live to? Well, as you know, it can vary from race to race, but for most of us, like myself, we can live up to about 80 years old. Wait, what? 80 years old? With no standards of medicine or hospitals or anything? Seriously, is there something in the water? For us, the huge sizes and now this kind of longevity? Still, human technology is nice and all, but this wolf really has no idea how good he has it. Yeah, it's the same in Salenhof. It's normal to live to about 70 to 90 years. So I guess we must have a similar age range as you guys. That's quite interesting. Yeah. Or, I don't serve it piping hot just so you can let it freeze. We laugh to ourselves, half of the bear's timing, half of how crazy it feels to be chided like kids at the dinner table. I guess we got caught. Adnor stifles his laughter with his tongue, but the result is just a silliest grin. It's nice seeing the big wolf laugh so wholeheartedly. He seems rather comfortable here at the inn. We both need a moment to settle down before resuming our meal. It takes effort to keep my chuckling down. I catch Adnor smirking at times as his eyes linger on me. No doubt he's having the same problem. I'm growing rather fond of this wolf. Ugh. I ate way too much. I barely managed to eat at all. That's Brum for you. His eyes are always bigger than your stomach. You don't have to gorge yourself if you're full. You can always give me what you don't finish. Though I'm sure he appreciates the compliment of a clean plate. All that's left to do now is to visit the smithy. The smithy? Where are we going there? Why are we going there? My sword and armor became worn out lately, so I came here at dawn to have them repaired. We must keep our weapons sharp and our armor sturdy. Knowing him, he should be done repairing them soon, so there's no need for us to stay long. I've never been in a smithy before. Could be fun seeing one in person. Then I'll be more than happy to show you. Right next to the stall that sells cutlery by gold hangs a sign that says Fire Cave with an anvil carved on it. I was ready to walk to the entrance, but Adnor instead rounded the corner and led us to the back of the building. Wait, where are we going? The smithy is right there. That's the store entrance. We're going to the smithy in the back. Should we go through the store and talk to the owner first? It'll be fine. I know them personally. Akenor takes the lead and opens the door for me before entering the old house. Looking around, I see all sorts of tools and furniture taking up most of the space in the room. There's a few swords and shields on the walls. A giant fireplace takes up the whole corner of the room, and a big anvil is placed in the middle of it all. The air inside smells heavily of oil, metal, and leather. a bit musty to boot. Not to mention how overbearingly hot it is in here. There's a shuffling, followed by hens creaking and the voice of someone muttering as they approach. I swear, if Pa tells me to fuck off one more time. Out from the back room comes a short gray rabbit with strong arms and hips. I know her. Back so soon. It's only been a few hours. Hey, Jacob. I'm sorry if we come at a bad time. We? Oh, sorry, didn't see you there. You must be the new lion everyone's talking about. I chuckle half-heartedly. Yeah, that's me. This is Lord Aaron Sonder. He's a recent arrival in the village. We'll be staying a while. The rabbit's nose twitches again as he assesses me with renewed interest. So you're really a noble? He is, but the family name doesn't go far. He's from Soldenhof and claims he's traveling to make his own fortune. I'm close to correcting him that I would rather find my way back home, but I keep my mouth shut. I'm not sure if fortune's what I'm looking for. Am I supposed to dig for gold or something? I really don't like impersonating a noble with no clue what to do with a title like that. Right, Lord Aaron. He gives me a discreet nudge to bring me back into the conversation. Oh, I'm right. I'm a noble. It's nice meeting you. I reach out my hand for a handshake. He wipes his hands of his apron the best he can before accepting it. His hand is soft and warm, but the grip is firm. Name's Jacob. I'm the blacksmith on this side of the village. We forge and sell weapons, seals, and tools, all in great quality. We? Yeah, me and Pa. Must say, I never thought I'd get a noble in our smithy. That's the first for me. We both let go of the handshake. It has left my hand with traces of black soot lingering between my hairy fingers and pink beans. Must have been to Solon many times, but it's as good as everyone who's been there says it is. Someday I'll get there myself when I got a heavy bag of coin. I know you'll get your chance one day soon, Jacob. Your craftsmanship is second to none. People already speak highly of your work. You're bound to have a noble take notice of you. Well, I like to hope so. Always been my dream to go there. When I finally get enough coin, I'll have my own smithy in the heart of Solon. It's only so long my old man can keep me here, collecting dust in this village for the rest of my life. Don't be like that, Jacob. You're quite lucky for being living here. You're quite lucky for living here. Yeah. It has everything one could need, and I've seen my share of villages that's only half as good as this one here. You can always make your own smithy right here, and it'll be even greater than this one. Nobles will come from far and wide just to look at the amazing work you do by the forge. Maybe. If only the old man gave me more coin for working for him. It's slow to fill up my coins. Told him several times to make something more than the same old tools and weapons, but he won't listen. People come here to buy what they want. And your stuff ain't selling, he keeps telling me, and all the customers say the same thing. Repair this. Made that just like the old one. No need to change. What works is fine. That sounds awful. I don't think I could make the same thing over and over again without getting sick of it. Exactly. I'm sick of it. See merchants bring all sorts of crafts I've never seen around here. Gears and weapons with fine engraved details, unique tools for different needs, the works. But Pa won't let me use his tools and materials to try my hand at things I know nothing about. Just wish he had more faith in me. Agenor walks up to the rabbit, placing a hand on his shoulder. Don't be so hard on yourself. I've seen what you can make. You'll make a name for yourself that'll be well known far and wide. You'll get there one day, soon. I know it. Jacob grabs his big ear, hanging over his shoulder, and rubs it for a while. It soon to slowly calm him down. Sorry, just tired dealing with my pa and all them customers lately. Hey, you're right, Agnar. I'll get there someday. Still focus on what I can make here before taking the big leap in the stolen. Might not be so lucky as to find work on the first day. Maybe luck will strike soon. Bound to find someone who pay a hefty bag of coins with some good gear for the hunt. That's right, your gear. Almost forgot. The rabbit makes his way to the table with all sorts of things scattered on it, with Agnar's armor on top and his sword standing in its sheath next to it. Were some dents and nicks to fix on your broadsword, but it should all be balanced out neatly. The wolf picks up his sword, unsheathing it, and holds it up close to his snout, before waving it carefully away from us. How does it feel? Agnar keeps testing the weight, waving it up and down. Great. It's as good as the day I first bought it. You always know how to hone the blade. Jacob shows a big grin on his face as his chest puffs with pride. Thank you for making time to repair them already, Jacob. I know how busy you must be with more customers these days. Anything for the best wolf I know. How much I owe you? 20 core should be good. Only 20 again. Jacob, that's too low. It should be at least 45 core. Well, little damage on your armor. So there wasn't much to fix this. Spent more time fixing your sword before opening shop. And I've repaired your sword so many times already. I could fix it in my sleep. Took me no time at all. The wolf's shoulders deflate, his tail hanging low as he shoots a worried look at Jacob. Don't give me that look, Agnar. This scout is only for my close friends. You're the closest one I've got. I can't do that. You're hardly getting coin for your old man. Jacob closes his eyes with a strange smile. This is probably not the first time they had this discussion. How about some baked goods from Wagenfried, plus the 20 cores? Should be a fair bargain. Only been spending time by the fords in the store all day. I can't think straight anymore. I miss tasting the sweet pies and buttery cakes. When the day's finally over, her bakery's already closed. The wolf gives it a moment to think before a smile slowly forms on his face. You do love those baked goods, and I don't want you to go hungry all day. You're a lifesaver, Agnar. It'll save me some time and money if you go. It would save me some time and money if you do it for me. Just bring a big loaf and that small Jord Bear cake here tomorrow noon, and I'll take those 20 off you. I swear if her baking didn't taste so gosh darn good, I wouldn't have lost so much corn. I think all those coins found their way back to you right there. Agnar lowers himself and taps at the rabbit's hip with a sly grin while Jacob's face turns bright red. He whacks the big wolf on his shoulder, but he barely budges. You ass. They both share a chuckle, and Jacob's cheeks turn back to its natural gray color. That reminds me, I had an apple pie this morning. It was so good. Was that the same bakery you got it from, Agnar? Appel, never heard of a pie like that before. Oh crap, they don't have apples here? He means the apple pie. I thought something sweet would improve his mood by having him rest in the house. Right, I meant Elpi. We just say it a little differently where I come from. Don't worry about it. Her customers say some words in lots of funny ways. The rabbit smiles, letting me feel more at ease, guess the mistake was too small to arouse any suspicion. Akinor opens his pouch, digging through the coins inside. Here's a 20 quar. I'll come by tomorrow, bring you the bread and cake. 50 quar. Another rabbit comes in through the door, having a mix of gray and brown fur colors. The older rabbit has the same height and a similar build, but looks far from happy to see us. Wolf. Solwyn. Pa, you said you wanted to deal with the customers. Why are you here? Running low on weapons. Gotta get 'em. The rabbit pulls a few different swords out of the barrel before picking a couple of axes from the wall. You finished that hyena scabbard? His order's not due for another few days, so I put it off until tomorrow. Just came and said he wants it done by sunrise. Take these with you to the shop. Gotta stay here and finish that scabbard, so stop your jabbering with the wolf. But now, Jacob walks out of the room in a huff, with his arms full of weapons, muttering to himself. Someone approaches the big wolf and opens his palm. 50. Akinor inhales sharply through his nose, a fierce tension in his arms, but he says nothing as the two stares daggers at each other. Finally, Akinor just lets out a frustrated sigh and reaches into his pouch, digging out a few silver coins. Here. Someone accepts the payment and pockets the money in his apron. You're lucky your order got done. Don't want my tools to be used for that cheap sword of yours and waste my son's time fixing it. How about getting yourself a real sword before that old thing breaks? I'm satisfied with the one I have. Even swords get rusty. You dumb mutt. What a dick. Crap, that slipped out. The rabbit's nose crunches a bit as he finally takes notice of me. So you that twitchy little elf townie everyone's can't set about. He looks me up and down, seemingly unimpressed with what he's saying. Not much dressed up, are you? Son of a thing, I suppose. Nothing but a low-born wannabe spunk. Akinor takes a step towards Sylving, towering over him with a low growl, but the rabbit is completely unfazed by the wolf's warning glare. Instead, he keeps his focus locked on me. Don't care what it's like where you're from. Here lions don't butcher their names. I reach behind my ears to feel my mohawk-like hair. I guess lions usually have more fur around their heads, but it's not like I could do anything about it. It just came out like this. Ain't you gonna go to that manor and kiss up to our witch fox family? Watch it, Solwyn. You're still a noble, and there's a guest under the Vetskogan. Cram it, wolf. It's just this lowborn's going in whore for the week. Akinor stands firm and starts growling loudly as he bares his teeth as a warning. Now get, me and my son got work to do. The wolf stares at the grumpy rabbit for a while, but decides to stay silent. He presses a hand to my back and leads me straight out the door. Back on the street, the wolf lets out alongside of the Zosar. I share that sentiment having to deal with that guy in a burning hot room. That's one grumpy rabbit. I barely spoke to him, but I'm exhausted. I'm sorry, Owen. I was hoping that he would be too busy at the store during our visit. Don't take what he said personally. He's like that with everyone. Yeah, that rabbit has a stick too far up his own ass. Heh, pretty much. But Jacob seemed like a nice guy. I like him. He must really love working as a blacksmith, with how much he taught about it. He really does love his trade, puts his pride and what he makes by the forge sometimes shows me a few things he made in secret from that old man. Jacob's a big dreamer, always hard at work. Even when his dad keeps telling him no, it doesn't stop him from wanting to make it on his own. That must be a big step to take. He does seem like the kind of guy who always gives his all. It's one of his traits I've always admired in him. I hope his dreams come true. Someone working so hard deserves it. Yeah, he does. Aunt Nora smiles, but it's a weak one. There's an undeniable hint of sadness underneath. You did great today, Alan. For your first true day here, it couldn't have gone better. Now that you've made yourself a little more familiar with the village, we must discuss how to work on your coordination. I raised a brow. I thought I was walking well enough. I hadn't had any trouble keeping my balance today. Is it really all that bad? It's better than your first day, but still pretty awkward. You're noble, so you need to hold yourself well when you walk. My confidence drains a little hearing that, but he's right. It would be impossible to adapt to all this in just one day. Tomorrow, we'll head out to the training grounds to help you improve your posture. Training ground. I'm gonna get trained by a woven warrior. That sounds cool as hell. I wonder what sort of training he'll put me through. Will there be training? Will there be combat training, an obstacle course, secret line techniques? The idea is pretty exciting. Maybe being a lion has given me some superhuman strength and agility. I'm curious of what sort of training he's planned for me. By the time we're back to the house, the sun is setting, giving the town an orange glow. The streets are a lot quieter, as I guess most people are heading home for the night. This computer's running really slow, so anyway, so that was a big part of the update for this, this new update that got changed. It's basically the same story, but that's a major part of the story that got changed. So in the original part, the original version, the bunny was a baker, and this time he is a blacksmith, making weapons and armor for the people in the village. And apparently, the creator did this because it helps, it helps with the progression of the story. And given that Akinor is a warrior, he has armor and weapons. It makes more sense, for the weapon to be a blacksmith, because that's something Akinor needs. I mean, not to mean not to mean he doesn't need, food to eat, like for the bakery, but I think, as a warrior himself, carrying a sword and armor, it would be better if the rabbit was like a blacksmith. Anyway, but other than that, the bunny being a blacksmith instead of a baker, the story, Akinor's interactions with the bunny and the bunny's father is the same. Just like when he was a baker, as a blacksmith, he wishes to be accepted he wishes to be accepted by a noble. He wants to work for a noble because he makes more money doing that, and he gains more respect. More respect, and he gets more customers working for a noble, or going to a noble town, I guess. And his father doesn't have as much faith in him, and that bothers the son. And Adnor tries to give the rabbit some faith. Hey, just keep doing what you're doing. Work harder, and eventually you'll make it. So, yeah, that's pretty much the same. You know, Adnor and the bunny, they have a friendly relationship. However, the bunny's father, Soren, insults both Adnor. Well, not exactly Adnor, but he's very mean to Adnor. He insults the MC, saying he's not a real lion, or he's kind of like a low end noble, I guess. So they had to say about the father. Oh, he's still a nasty person. Alright, so we also got to meet the bear whose name, I keep forgetting their names already. But anyway, we got to meet the bear who's the owner of the inn, and everything's pretty much the same. The only difference is that in the original part he wasn't carrying food, but he did carry food, but we just didn't see him carry the food. In this Reforged version, we do see him carry food for the MC. Alright, so like I said, that the scene with the bunny being a blacksmith instead of a baker, that's the main difference so far in this Reforged version of Sylving. So we'll continue with Sylving next time. Thank you all very much for watching. Goodbye.